America is full of baffling mysteries, stories that have lingered for decades, even centuries, without clear explanations. Across deserts, forests, and coastlines, people report strange phenomena, low humming sounds, unexplained lights in the sky, and artifacts that don't seem to fit into known history. There are also cryptic codes and markings that remain unsolved despite years of investigation. These mysteries continue to fascinate scientists, historians, and curious observers alike. New theories emerge, but rarely bring definitive answers. Even with modern technology, some questions remain unresolved. From puzzling historical sites to unexplained natural events, these stories sit at the edge of what we understand. And until new evidence appears, the questions remain, and the mystery continues. In the early 1800s, 3 mysterious coded documents appeared, filled with numbers hiding a possible secret, a vast buried treasure in Virginia, gold, silver, and jewels worth millions today. The story centers on Thomas J. Beale, who allegedly discovered the treasure in the American West. Unable to move it safely, he buried it and created 3 encrypted messages, one describing the treasure, one revealing its location, and one listing its rightful owners. He left the documents with an innkeeper, instructing him to open a box if he never returned. He didn't. Inside were pages of complex codes. Only one cipher was partially solved, reportedly using the Declaration of Independence, revealing a detailed inventory of riches. The other 2 remain unsolved, and the treasure has never been found. In 1980, a massive and mysterious monument rose from rural Georgia. Known as Georgia Guidestones, it featured towering stone slabs engraved with messages in multiple languages, offering guidelines for humanity's future. The inscriptions address topics like environmental balance, population, governance, and human responsibility. Some saw a vision for global harmony, while others questioned who had the authority to define such principles. But the biggest mystery was its creator. The monument was commissioned under a pseudonym, and the true identity behind it was never revealed. In 2022, the story took a dramatic turn when the site was damaged in an explosion and later dismantled. Today, the stones are gone, but the questions surrounding their purpose and origin remain unanswered. In the remote desert near Marfa, people have reported a strange phenomenon for generations, glowing orbs of light hovering on the horizon. Known as the Marfa lights, these lights often appear after sunset, flickering, drifting, and sometimes splitting apart or vanishing without a trace. Witnesses describe them as unpredictable, never moving the same way twice. The mystery has drawn visitors from around the world, all hoping to catch a glimpse. Scientists have proposed explanations, from distant car headlights distorted by temperature layers to unusual atmospheric effects. But none fully explain all the reported behavior. And that's what keeps the mystery alive. Night after night, the desert near Marfa continues to glow, offering no clear answers, only questions. In the 1990s, underwater microphones operated by NOAA detected a powerful, low-frequency sound deep in the Pacific Ocean, unlike anything recorded before. The signal was incredibly strong, louder than known marine animals, including whales. Researchers named it the bloop. Speculation quickly spread. Some believed it could be an unknown giant sea creature, while others pointed to volcanic activity or shifting tectonic plates. For years, the source remained a mystery. Eventually, scientists revisited the data and reached a more grounded conclusion. The sound was likely caused by massive ice quakes, huge sections of Antarctic ice cracking and breaking away. Even today, the bloop remains one of the most famous unexplained sounds ever recorded in the ocean. Hidden in the forests of Massachusetts lies a quiet mystery, a narrow stone tunnel leading into a small underground chamber. Partially buried and weathered by time, it blends into the landscape, almost forgotten. Built from stacked stone, the tunnel descends into a modest space beneath the earth. But no clear records explain who built it or when. Some believe it was a colonial-era root cellar, used to store food during harsh New England winters. The cool, underground conditions would have made it ideal for preservation. Others suggest it could be even older, possibly predating European settlement, though no solid evidence confirms this. With no definitive answers, the structure remains a quiet puzzle, hidden beneath the forest floor. In southern Ohio lies one of the most remarkable ancient earthworks in North America, a massive serpent-shaped mound that winds and curves across the landscape in a continuous, flowing form. Stretching more than 1,300 feet, it follows the natural contours of the ridge, creating the striking image of a giant snake in motion when viewed from above. The structure is known as the Great Serpent Mound, and it stands as a powerful example of prehistoric engineering and landscape design. Built by indigenous peoples long before modern mapping or machinery, it reflects an extraordinary understanding of earthwork construction and spatial planning. While its exact origins are still studied, scholars agree that it was created by Native American cultures in the region. However, its purpose remains open to interpretation. Some researchers believe it may have served a ceremonial or spiritual role, possibly tied to seasonal events or rituals connected to nature. Others etched into the desert floor of the Colorado Desert are massive ancient ground drawings known as geoglyphs. Invisible from the ground, they come into focus from above, depicting human figures, animals, and abstract shapes, some stretching over 170 feet long. These designs were created centuries ago by indigenous peoples who removed dark surface stones to reveal lighter soil beneath, forming precise outlines that have endured in the dry climate. Their scale suggests careful planning, yet their purpose remains uncertain. Some believe they had ceremonial or spiritual meaning, possibly linked to migration routes or rituals. Others see them as storytelling or territorial markers. Despite ongoing research, these geoglyphs remain one of the most striking and mysterious features of the American Southwest. Covered in hundreds of intricate carvings, the Judicula rock is a striking and mysterious boulder. Its surface is filled with winding lines, shapes, and symbols layered into a dense, complex pattern, many still clearly visible despite centuries of weathering. The meaning of these petroglyphs has been lost over time. Some resemble figures, tracks, or natural forms, but their true significance remains uncertain. For the Cherokee, the site holds deep cultural importance. It is linked to Judicula, a legendary giant from oral tradition. Researchers suggest the rock may have been used for ceremonies, storytelling, or even mapping. Yet despite ongoing study, much of its meaning remains a mystery. Did you know the United States stretches so far? Does it actually bend time and direction? Exploding head. Welcome to Alaska, the only state that is both the westernmost and easternmost point in the entire country. Sounds impossible, right? Here's the twist. The Aleutian Islands extend across the 180 degrees meridian, the invisible line that splits the eastern and western hemispheres. So when you travel far enough west in Alaska, you actually end up in the eastern side of the world. Mind blown. Globe showing Europe-Africa. This means Alaska isn't just remote. It literally wraps around the globe in a way no other state does. Next time you look at a map, remember, sometimes west is east, and Alaska breaks all the rules. Follow for more facts that sound fake, but aren't. The Liberty Bell is one of America's most iconic symbols, but its most famous feature is actually a flaw. Originally cast in the 18th century, the bell developed a crack early in its use. Attempts were made to repair it, including widening the crack to prevent further damage. Instead, those efforts only made the fracture more visible and ultimately silenced the bell for good. Today, the Liberty Bell is preserved exactly as it is, cracked and no longer functional. Rather than being restored, it stands as a powerful reminder that even imperfect symbols can carry lasting meaning. What began as a structural failure has become a defining part of its identity, turning the bell into a lasting emblem of history, resilience, and legacy. The Great Basin Desert challenges one of the biggest misconceptions about deserts, that they're always hot. Stretching across parts of Nevada, Utah, and surrounding states, this vast landscape is actually a cold desert, meaning it experiences wide temperature swings throughout the year. While summers can be hot and dry, winters bring something many don't expect: regular snowfall. Because of its higher elevation and unique geography, the Great Basin Desert can see significant drops in temperature, allowing snow to blanket the terrain. Mountains, valleys, and open plains transform into a quiet, frozen landscape that looks nothing like the typical desert image. This surprising contrast highlights an important fact. Deserts are defined by low precipitation, not heat. And in the Great Basin, that means snow is just as much a part of the environment as sun and sand. A dark, silent harbor under the cover of night. The water barely moves, reflecting faint moonlight and the distant glow of lanterns from a massive British warship anchored nearby. The atmosphere is tense. This is not an ordinary night. Slowly emerging from the shadows, a strange, barrel-shaped wooden vessel drifts just beneath the surface. This is the Turtle, the world's first combat submarine. Inside, a lone American soldier struggles in complete darkness, manually turning cranks to propel the vessel forward. Every movement is slow, heavy, and filled with risk. His breathing echoes in the cramped space. Sweat drips. The only sound outside is the gentle slosh of water against the hull. As he approaches the towering enemy ship, the contrast is overwhelming. Tiny, fragile innovation versus the might of the British Navy. He reaches beneath the ship, pauses, and attempts to drill into its hull to plant an explosive. Tucked away in rural Nebraska is Manawai, the smallest incorporated town in the United States, with a population of just one. That one resident, Elsie Eiler, quite literally runs the entire town. She serves as the mayor, manages the local library, and even operates the town's only bar, all on her own. Each year, she files official paperwork to keep the town legally active, including creating a budget and renewing the town's liquor license. The library she maintains is dedicated to her late husband and holds thousands of books, drawing occasional visitors from curious travelers. Despite its size, Manawai has become a symbol of resilience and individuality, a place where one person keeps an entire town alive. It may be small, but Manawai's story is anything but ordinary.